There's a reason that gut feeling brought you to this exact spot right now. Somewhere deep down, you already know what happened yesterday was significant. Maybe you felt it as a sudden shift in the atmosphere around you, a flash of unexplained fear, or that hollow, empty sensation in your chest while you were just going about your day, doing normal things. That sudden wave of worry wasn't something that came from inside you. It was a reflection of someone else's emotional breakdown happening somewhere far away, someone who is hurting deeply because you're not there anymore. Their entire emotional world cracked open yesterday, and what you picked up on was the aftershock of that collapse. If you felt that strange heaviness yesterday, you'll want to keep reading, because this is for the people who need to hear it. Yesterday, this person felt your presence more intensely than they have since you two separated. Proof that real connection between two people doesn't care about distance, time zones, or whether you're blocked on social media. These kinds of bonds work almost like connected vessels. When one side fills up with too much suppressed emotion and overflows, the other person feels that pressure too, almost instantly. That sudden wave of unease you felt, the urge to check your phone for a message that wasn't there, waking up with their name somehow on your mind. All of that was a sign that whatever wall of indifference they'd built up finally cracked. Everything they'd been pushing down came rushing out internally, and that emotional wave was so strong that you felt it on a physical level too. If you experienced that odd anxiety or emptiness yesterday, comment, "I felt it." Your logical brain probably tried to explain it away. Maybe you blamed work stress or exhaustion or just a bad day. But part of you, the deeper part, knows the difference between sadness that belongs to you and sadness that's coming from somewhere else. What you sensed yesterday was essentially a silent cry for help. This person is dealing with the realization that no amount of staying busy can drown out thoughts of you. They're going through a genuinely difficult emotional night, where the only warmth they can remember is the warmth you used to bring into their life. Even though their pride won't let them reach out directly on an energetic level, they were searching for you so intensely that it's like you could feel someone reaching toward you from a distance. This marks a real, lasting shift in the connection between you two, something that can't just be brushed aside. But to really understand why this emotional breakdown happened yesterday specifically, not last week, not last month, you first need to recognize the signal their inner self was sending your way, a signal you picked up without a single word being spoken. There's a hidden process behind all of this. Something shifted beneath the surface, and that shift explains why things suddenly changed so dramatically and so quickly. Have you noticed that lately your mind keeps bringing up their image, almost out of nowhere with surprising intensity, like they're somehow right there with you? The reason for that lies in what happened in their private world last night and in the emotional shift that took place over the past day. If you're ready to take this in, drop a comment letting me know you're receiving the message. Yesterday wasn't an ordinary day in the story of their emotional journey. On an energetic level, something reached a breaking point, a complete overflow. Think of it like this. This person has been quietly filling up an emotional container with every memory of you they've tried to suppress, every urge to message you that they talked themselves out of, every tear they hid from everyone around them. To the outside world, they looked completely fine. But yesterday, that container finally overflowed. What happened is that the resistance they'd been holding up against this connection finally gave out. They simply ran out of strength to keep fighting it. Maintaining an emotional facade takes an enormous amount of energy. Pretending that someone who genuinely matters to you means nothing is one of the hardest things a person can do. And yesterday, this person just couldn't keep carrying that weight anymore. It's very possible that yesterday you had a moment where you let go a little. Maybe you stopped holding on so tightly, even briefly. Maybe you got so caught up in your own life that for a few hours you simply stopped sending out that constant energy of hope and worry toward them. And in terms of energy, when you stop pushing or waiting with that intense need, you create a kind of space. And the universe doesn't really allow empty space to just sit there. When you pulled your attention away, even momentarily, this person felt that absence in a real way. As long as you're consistently sending out that energy of connection, they feel secure, like they're still within reach, still holding you in their orbit, which lets them stay comfortable and act unaffected. But yesterday, something genuinely shifted in you, and that shift created real fear in them. On some level, they sensed they were actually losing you for good. It wasn't a logical thought. It was something they felt in their body. Like the air around them suddenly got heavier. They might have been out with friends or even trying to connect with someone new, and out of nowhere, this wave of emotional discomfort hit them. Everything around them suddenly felt dull and meaningless. Conversations felt empty. Noise became irritating. Their mind started running constant comparisons. Nobody looks at me the way they did. Nobody gets me like that. Nobody loved me that way. Yesterday, those comparisons hit especially hard, and they lost the fight against missing you. This intense emotional surge often shows up as anxiety that doesn't seem to have a clear cause in their day-to-day life. Everything else might be going fine. Work's stable, health's fine, life looks normal on paper. But yesterday, they felt like something was deeply wrong. Like time keeps slipping by, and holding on to their pride is costing them more than the loneliness is worth. Type yes if you want to understand why they're feeling your presence so strongly right now. This person probably caught themselves staring at their phone, maybe starting to type a message and then deleting it, or checking your profile just to see if you're still active, still around. But these actions came from genuine pain and a real sense of need. Yesterday, they felt you more intensely than ever before because all their defenses dropped at once. When the proud, guarded part of someone finally gets tired, the deeper self takes over. And what that deeper self wants is simple: to return to where it feels it belongs. And that place, for them, is you. What they felt yesterday was so overwhelming that it left them in a state of real mental confusion. They started questioning every choice they'd made recently. Why did I create this distance? Why did I let things get this cold? Regret carries a heavy, dense kind of energy, and that's exactly what's weighing on them right now. That's why we say they're suffering. And that's not just something said to make you feel better. It's an accurate description of what's going on inside them. They're caught in a storm of conflicting emotions. They want you, but fear is holding them back. They miss you, but they're not sure you'd welcome them back. They want to talk to you, but the fear of rejection freezes them in place. And all of that internal chaos creates a powerful surge of mental and emotional energy directed straight at you. You're the one receiving that signal. That's why you felt the way you did yesterday. You absorbed the full impact of their emotional breakdown. This person tried everything to push thoughts of you out of their head. Maybe they went to bed early just to escape their thoughts, or buried themselves in some task to stay distracted. But energy behaves like water. It always finds a way through. And yesterday, it broke through completely. They realized on a deep level that you're a permanent part of who they are now. The impact you've had on their life can't be erased. And for someone who typically avoids dealing with emotions, that realization is genuinely scary. And that fear is exactly what you picked up on. It's the fear of someone who knows they made a mistake and has no idea how to fix it. But that fear didn't come out of nowhere. There was a physical, almost uncomfortable signal that made it impossible for them to keep avoiding this. It wasn't just mental. Their body reacted too. There's a natural physical response that happens when someone misses another person deeply, and yesterday that response hit with unusual intensity, enough to throw off their entire day. If you could somehow watch this person when they're completely alone, you'd see clear evidence that thoughts of you have taken over, whether they want that or not. What's interesting about this kind of bond is that it doesn't stay confined to thoughts or vague feelings. If we could look at this person's actual physical state right now, we'd see their body reacting in ways they can't really control. The human body is incredibly sensitive. When something shifts on a deeper level, the body responds. What this person experienced yesterday, and is probably still feeling today, is a real, physical expression of missing you. Drop echo in the comments if you've ever felt someone's emotions from far away. This isn't just about remembering you. Their whole system is showing signs of feeling disconnected and depleted. The mental walls they've built start breaking down on a physical level, and that creates a lot of confusion and frustration for them, because they can't understand why they feel this way when, on the surface, they're trying to just move on with life. One of the clearest signs that someone is struggling right now is a tightness right in the center of their chest. It's not a medical issue. It's more like a squeezing sensation, almost like an invisible hand pressing down on their heart, or like they can't quite get a full breath even though nothing's physically wrong. This tightness represents everything they've left unsaid, every bit of care they've buried. Yesterday, that pressure probably became almost unbearable. There's a good chance that at some point during the day, they had to stop, take a deep breath, or instinctively place a hand on their chest to ease a weight that isn't physical. It's emotional. It's the weight of knowing, somewhere deep inside, that they're far away from where they actually belong. Beyond that chest tightness, there's something else that might feel familiar to you, because you may have gone through it too. Trouble sleeping, especially waking up at strange hours in the middle of the night. This person likely isn't sleeping well. They might fall asleep from sheer exhaustion, but their sleep stays light and gets interrupted often. Yesterday, there's a good chance they woke up suddenly somewhere between 3 and 4 in the morning with this strange, wide-awake feeling, almost like someone called their name or turned on a light. In that quiet stillness of night, when their guard is down, their thoughts go straight to you. They can't help it. They toss and turn, trying to get comfortable, but their mind keeps circling back to what used to be and what could still be. That sudden waking is their body's way of responding to the energy you're putting out, or maybe to the emptiness created when you pulled back your attention. Another physical sign tied to their current state is an unusual exhaustion, a kind of tiredness that doesn't go away no matter how much they sleep or rest. Even basic tasks feel like they require twice the normal effort. This drained feeling comes from the energy lost in the internal battle they're fighting. Think about how much energy it takes to convince yourself all day that someone who matters deeply to you doesn't matter at all. That ongoing tug-of-war between what their mind says and what their heart actually feels drains them completely. That's why they felt, and probably still feel, empty, like they're just going through the motions. People close to them might notice their eyes seem dull, like that usual spark or excitement is missing, because the energy that used to light up around you now feels far away. It's also common for appetite to shift during all of this. The stomach is often described as our second emotional center, and it tends to tighten up under the stress of separation. This person might feel like their stomach is in knots, making it hard to eat normally. Or they might swing the other way and eat without really tasting or enjoying anything, just to cope with the anxiety. Yesterday, food probably tasted bland to them. Everything felt flat, because on a deeper level, their sense of enjoyment in life is tied to you. When that connection feels disrupted, the body loses interest in food. It's a basic form of sadness that the body processes even if the conscious mind hasn't fully accepted what's going on. Even their senses keep searching for you, sometimes creating things that aren't really there. It's possible that yesterday they thought they spotted you in a crowd or heard a voice that sounded just like yours somewhere nearby. Smell, especially, is tied closely to emotional memory. So a random scent in the air might have suddenly reminded them of you, your scent, or just the feeling of being around you. In places where you couldn't possibly be, their brain is so eager to find traces of you that it starts projecting you onto the world around them. Yesterday they might have turned their head quickly, thinking you were nearby, only to realize you weren't. And that emptiness probably hit even harder in that moment. Their body is searching for you the same way water naturally finds its way downhill. And that search, happening on a physical and instinctive level, shows that even if their words stay silent, something inside them is calling out for you loudly. What's interesting is that none of this is some mysterious, unexplainable force. It actually lines up with ideas that thinkers have explored for a long time, ideas that help explain exactly what you're going through. Let's look at this through the lens of one of the most influential minds in psychology, Carl Jung. Even though he lived decades ago, his ideas align closely with what a lot of modern spiritual thinking explores today. The idea that, at our core, we're not really separate from one another. Jung proposed that our minds aren't isolated, like islands floating in their own private oceans. Instead, they're part of a much larger, interconnected network, a shared layer of consciousness that exists beneath everything we can see. He called this the collective unconscious. You can picture it as this vast, invisible web, like a signal that stretches across everything and keeps all of us connected, all the time. Imagine you and this person as two trees standing far apart. On the surface, it looks like they have nothing to do with each other. Separate trunks, separate branches, separate space. But underground, their roots stretch out, intertwine, and connect through the soil. Through that hidden root system, nutrients and signals travel between them. When one tree experiences some kind of shock, the other picks up on it through that shared network underground. Jung's idea was that this deep connection is why we can sense things about people without any direct contact, and why certain events seem to line up in meaningful ways. Within this concept lies something Jung called synchronicity. If this is resonating with you, share it with someone who needs to know these feelings aren't just in their head. Synchronicities aren't just coincidences or random events. They're moments when what's happening outside lines up with what's happening on the inside. So when you felt that unexplained worry yesterday, or when this person heard a song that brought you to mind right when they were trying hardest to forget, that wasn't just chance. That was synchronicity. It's almost like the universe arranging things to show that the connection between you two is still very much alive. Synchronicity is how this larger shared consciousness communicates to both of you that the story isn't over. It can feel like everything is conspiring to bring this person back toward you, no matter how far they try to run. So why did they feel your presence so strongly yesterday specifically? According to this way of thinking, thoughts and emotions carry real energy, just as real as electricity. When you think about someone with real intensity, or when you let go of something with genuine purpose, it sends a ripple through this invisible network connecting people. Yesterday, something shifted in your own energy. Maybe you stopped resisting something. Maybe your personal energy just changed. Or maybe the pressure that had been building in that shared space finally hit a tipping point, and this person, connected to you through that invisible thread, received that wave whether they wanted to or not. Their inner self picked up on it before their conscious mind could put up any defenses. Jung would probably say that this person's emotional crisis right now is actually a necessary part of their growth, a push toward greater self-understanding. People often pull away from strong connections because the other person reflects back their hidden fears, insecurities, and the depth of love they're afraid to fully accept. By creating distance, they're really trying to avoid facing parts of themselves that woke up because of you. But what they avoid doesn't go away. It keeps influencing them quietly. And yesterday, that avoidance finally hit its limit, and everything they'd been holding back came pouring out, forcing them to face themselves in a way they couldn't ignore. Type synchronicity if this explains what you went through yesterday. You don't need to send a message or make a call for this connection to be real. Physical closeness matters far less than this quieter, deeper connection. When you're in a calm, grounded state, that energy travels through this invisible link. And yesterday, this person felt that pull from you, undeniably. This way of looking at things shows there's no winner or loser here, just two people moving through something connected by a much larger, meaningful pattern. The discomfort they're feeling right now is actually a kind of awakening, a crack in their defenses that allows something deeper in them to breathe. Right now, their mind is sending them dreams and physical sensations meant to break through the hard shell they've built, a shell that only wants safety and distance. There's a kind of balance to all this. The harder they try to consciously push you away, the more strongly you'll show up in their unconscious thoughts and dreams. And realizing this gives you back a sense of power because you no longer need a text or a phone call to confirm that this connection exists. You know it's real because you can feel it yourself. Yesterday, that connection was strong enough to keep wearing down their defenses, slowly preparing them for a truth they'll eventually have to face. The silence on their end can feel like a painful mystery, one that might make you doubt what you're sensing. But silence on the outside is never proof that someone has forgotten you on the inside. In this case, their silence actually reflects how deep their internal struggle really is. It shows the gap between what someone feels and what they're actually capable of doing. Between their heart and their actions stands their pride, which right now is working overtime to protect them from a truth that surfaced yesterday. They're suffering because they're stuck between wanting to repair things and being paralyzed by the fear of rejection or losing control. Comment, "I received it," if you're ready to take in this message. Think of their pulling away like someone stepping back from a fire. What they feel for you is so intense that their instinct is to retreat rather than risk getting burned. This silence isn't a sign they don't care. It's a defense mechanism, protecting their emotional balance from the overwhelming effect you have on them. They know that if they hear your voice or read something from you, every wall they've built would come down, and that loss of control terrifies the part of them that's used to being in charge. On top of that, reaching out would mean admitting they were wrong, and that feels like a huge blow to the image they've worked so hard to maintain. But this state of frozen overthinking can't last forever. No one can keep fighting against something this persistent indefinitely. The connection keeps pulling. The invisible thread keeps vibrating, slowly wearing down their resistance until what they feel inside becomes louder than what they fear. When that moment comes, they won't be able to hide behind their usual front or behind distance anymore. And everything they felt yesterday will eventually push them to move toward you. You're the one place where their restlessness finds peace, and this connection will eventually show itself in the real world too. Like this video and comment which physical sign hit closest to home for you. Chest tightness, waking up at 3 a.m., or something else. And subscribe for more on the connection between you two.